Hello everyone and welcome back to Learnosity's webinar series. Thanks for joining us for our first long-term support webinar of 2022. And for any viewers unfamiliar with our long-term support releases, there are our strong and complete and stable versions of all our APIs, and 3 times a year we release these production-ready versions across the suite, which are then available and supported to you for up to 2 years. My name is Michael Sharman, I'm SVP of Product at Learnosity, and I'm based in our Sydney office. As usual, just some quick housekeeping notes to go over. This is pre-recorded, and you can access this on demand via the Learnosity YouTube channel. But questions, of course, are very much welcome. If you'd like to ask anything that we cover in this webinar, customers can log a ticket through our support portal at help.learnosity.com. And if you're not a customer, you can email your questions to marketing@learnosity.com. And a member of the team will respond to any questions that you have via email shortly after the webinar. Okay, so in today's webinar, we're going to be looking at all the enhancements and the new capabilities from our latest long-term support release, 2022.1.LTS. We released that in February. We're very lucky. Learnosity powers more than 130 of the world's leading learning platforms, and we serve over 40 million learners annually. So we really do know firsthand what's required to power assessment excellence. And this release is just the latest in a continuous stream of updates and improvements to our assessment engine, courtesy of the 50+ specialized experts in Learnosity Labs. And this time around, we're helping our customers explore new assessment possibilities while reducing friction, from tapping the endless potential really of custom questions to boosting your author and development team's efficiencies. So first, let's just briefly run through what features we've released on 24th of February in assessment, authoring, the developer experience, and of course in accessibility. In assessment, we've made it a lot easier for you to make the most out of custom questions should you have the need. We've added new symbols to the math keyboard, opening up calculus and vector calculus amongst others. And we've increased our support for right-to-left languages. In authoring, we've made our item editing experience in the author site more seamless, more in line with what you would get from embedding the API. And we've made our lightning fast item search available to all item banks. In the developer experience, we've lightened the cognitive load from your development team. We have new and improved quick start tutorials relevant to any new developers who might be working across our platform. And we've introduced a new design system, LTS, Learnosity Design System. We'll tell you a little bit about that as well. Last and of course, never least, is accessibility. And this time around, we have added the ability to move the calculator using just the keyboard. We've got improvements to our assessment player, the table of contents, and the toolbar. And we've added better color contrast for the author API as well as the calculator. And of course, there are a series of other smaller accessibility enhancements. We'll try and go through a few of those as well. So firstly, let's give you a closer look at our assessment release. Now, while we have a lot of interactives available out of the box, a lot of question types, and a lot of features, we recognize that we're not going to have everything for everybody all of the time. So we have already created something called the custom question type. And the creative possibilities of this custom question type really are virtually endless. Now, we've done a little bit of work here to make it easier to get up and running, to get started creating your own custom question types by providing a downloadable sample project. And we've also greatly increased or enhanced the documentation. Let's take a look. Okay, what we're looking at here is the Learnosity Assessment Player. This is one of the 3 presets that we have for the player. But the question that we're looking at here, you wouldn't be familiar with. It doesn't look like anything that we have out of the box, and you would be right in thinking that. It is a box and whisker chart, and it is the question type that we've made available in our sample downloadable repository that you can look at as a project to get you up and running if you need to create your own custom questions. Now, as you can see, as you move down, we've got sort of our more generic multiple choice question here. So it embeds seamlessly into the assessment experience. We've got another one here, just as an example, an image marquee. Okay, so hopefully we can prove to you that anything that you want to do that we don't have, you can build yourselves, again, using this custom question type and using the new downloadable repository and sample project to get your development teams up and running. Let me just quickly show you authoring as well. Okay, we see here our authoring API, and when we go and create a new item, again, as most of you are probably familiar with this, you see our usual question groups, all the options that we have here. We've created a custom group, we just added it to the top there, and we've put in box and whisker. And what you see here is on the right, the student preview, and on the left-hand side, the usual compose question. But these are specific fields that are relevant only to this box and whisker. And again, it looks native to or anything else that you might author and create in Learnosity, even down to the help text that you might have. And this is all done, again, via the custom questions framework that you can use to create whatever you want in any of your projects. Okay, moving on to math. We've added a variety of new symbols to the math keypad or the math palette to broaden the range of topics available for authors and learners. New additions include symbols for cent, because, the del operator or the nabla symbol, which is used in vector calculus. It's worth noting that you can of course customize the keypads both for authors or for learners to present any subset or any different groupings that you might want out of everything available for all of our symbols. Let's take a quick look. Okay, we're in the authoring interface right now, and this is where you would set validation for a math question, and I'm in the calculus group that you can turn on or off. And you can see here we already had integral, and we've added double integral, triple integral, etc. Now, a lot of the other symbols are available to you as well. If you click into all symbols, you get an enormous list where we have all the other symbols available. And as I was mentioning, you can, for the learner, you can create customized groups here. So we can see in calculus, again, we've got the double integral, triple integral, but you can create your own custom groups and put in it any of the symbols you want, again, to customize whatever you want for the learner experience. To reach more learners worldwide, we've continued to extend our language support for right-to-left questions. Bidirectional language support is now available in 2 more question types, choice matrix and token highlight. As you can see in this demo, we have a variety of question types now available in right to left. The new ones we've added, token highlight, and 3 templates for choice matrix, all available in right to left. Next up, let's take a look at our new authoring features. For those of you that use our author site, our standalone author site, we now offer a richer item editing experience. Whether you're editing standalone items or items when they are within an activity or an assessment, authors have better control over access to the configuration options that we have in the API. Let's take a look. So here I am in the Learnosity website. I'm in the activities area. Remember, in Learnosity terminology, activities are our generic name for tests or quizzes or exams or assessments. We call them activities. So they are a collection of items or questions that you're going to give to one-to-many learners. As I come in to create, I have 2 options. I can choose to find any existing options that I might have in the item bank and attach them to this activity, or I can create new items. And this is where the enhancement comes in. I can do just a simple multiple choice question, but all these options on the left-hand side are now available. So I can come in here and I can add a description. I can add a difficulty, a friendly title. I can add my tags, all within this experience. So it is the same experience as you would have creating items standalone. Now we have that within the item creation part of the activity editor. And finally, we finalized our item search. We rebuilt this from the ground up to have a lot better performance, and it is lightning fast. We have rolled it out across all item banks. As long as you are on 2020.1.LTS, so 2 years ago, you will be fine, and you will have automatic access to our fast item search. That's it for our APIs. Let's have a quick look at our developer experience. At Learnosity, we absolutely recognize that our end users are not only students or learners in a classroom or teachers or authors, they're also developers. We put a lot of time and thought into what we can do to make their lives even easier. We also recognize that when developers start working on Learnosity powered software, there is a lot to learn. So to help developers hit the ground running, we've refined our quick start coding experience to be more straightforward, better documented, and available in multiple programming languages. That's available in GitHub. An exciting one for us, at least internally, we have a design system, LTS. It is, as I said, it is internal at this stage, but our objectives are that the user experience is more consistent, is accessible by default, a lot easier to customize both for our developers and for yours. You may have seen in one of our other release notes that we have already started to roll out components in our authoring stack, and there'll be more coming over time. Next, let's give you a closer look at what we've been doing in accessibility. First up, both of our calculators, the scientific and the normal calculator, now have contrast improvements. That's mainly in the top bar that you see there on the right-hand side. And importantly, learners can now position the calculator via the keyboard arrow keys. In our assessment player, the icons in the toolbar now have a visual change for their active state that doesn't solely rely on color. Also, we have clearer focus states, which is particularly important for learners that are navigating via the keyboard. And finally, we've improved contrast in the table of contents. Again, we're looking to our inclusive design principles to constantly refine when and where we can make a meaningful impact. Going back to the demo that we were looking at before for custom questions, you can see as I tab around the assessment interface, our assessment player, using the keyboard, the active state of those icons is very, very clear. And as I toggle something on, for example, flagging an item, and I move away to a different element, I have a visual cue, a vertical bar on the left side of the flag icon. That indicates to me that that is active, so we don't use color alone. And as we were saying with the calculator, I'm doing all of this with the keyboard. I can launch the calculator, move over to the calculator, and I can drag and drop, or rather move it, reposition it, using my arrow keys. Of course, users or authors, in this case with visual impairments, can have problems reading if the foreground and the background colors are poorly matched. As we always are, guided by the WCAG guidelines, we've updated the Author API to make our color choices more accessible. And some other small pieces, we've improved screen reader accessibility for the question editor. That's for the edit preview toggle buttons. And we've simplified keyboard navigation of the keypad within the math essay question type, the math essay with rich text. And that concludes our overview, our general overview of the first long-term support release this year, 2022.1.LTS. And as we always recognize, each release really is the result of 4 months of very hard work across all of our teams, of course in particular development, design and product, but everybody is involved. It is truly a team effort. And we're already working on our next long-term support release for 2022.2.LTS. That'll be released in June, around 4 months' time. So stay tuned for more features and more improvements then. As we mentioned at the top, if you have any questions about anything we've covered today, we're of course happy to answer them for you. If you're a customer, you can log a ticket at help.learnosity.com. And if you're not a customer, please email marketing@learnosity.com. And we'll respond to all your questions as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, thanks for your time, and we look forward to hearing from you.